Hey, so I just want to give you some basics when it comes to using Prezi, how to set one up, and some of the basic tools that you're going to need to know when you're using Prezi. First of all, you're going to want to go to Prezi.com. I'm assuming that you probably haven't used Prezi before, because if you did, you could just click the upper right-hand corner to the login button. Since you aren't, I would recommend hitting Getting Started. It's going to give you some options for your membership. You can go ahead and just use public, meaning that all your Prezi's presentations are actually going to be viewed by the public and actually can be viewed by the public. If you want to make your presentations private, for example, for your classroom, you'd have to actually pay a monthly fee. The Pro allows you to make your presentations private, but it also allows you to edit those offline. And then there's obviously a Teams option, but we won't get into that right now. So I'm going to click the continue for the public one. It's going to ask you basic information like your first name, last name, email address, and password, and then it literally just goes straight to your account. Okay, so what I'm going to do real quick is I'll log in and we'll go from there. Alright, so once you log in, you're going to come to this screen, and it's pretty much all your Prezis that you've done so far, as well as the option to go ahead and create new Prezis. Okay, so for this demonstration, let me just click on the new Prezi feature. It's going to load and do everything that it needs to do. But I just want to show you some of the basic tools to get started off with your Prezi. Okay, there's a couple different options. There's preset templates that you can use, but I'm just going to start with just a blank Prezi, so I'm just going to click that. When you get started, it's going to start off with a frame right in front of you. I want you to think of frames when you're using Prezi kind of just like slides in a normal PowerPoint. So when you want to go from one slide to the next, well, in Prezi you're going from one frame to the next. Okay, while in your frame, there's a couple things you can do. You can go ahead and edit obviously the text that you see just normally like you would in a word processor. So you could go ahead and type whatever you'd like. You can highlight it, you can make it bold, you can change the font size by making it bigger. You can change the color of the text. You can do pretty much anything you would want to do in a word processor here. You can change the justification, so you can take a left justified, right justified, center, whatever, and a lot of other things. When you're done with that, you can obviously move the text box, make it smaller that way. You can also use this button to give yourself a bigger text box. Okay, so that's mainly how the text box works. You can customize your frames by clicking the customization button. And you can change the themes. So say for example you can change the theme of your whole entire presentation by clicking that theme. You can choose what's called clear, and that just pretty much gives you like a very white background, but all of these are here. You can change the background image, so you can get a different image if you like, for example. You do that by clicking choose file. It's going to pop up something from your computer. Let's say for example I'm doing a Prezi on Abraham Lincoln. It's going to set up a picture of Abraham Lincoln as your background, and then all of your frames will sit on top of that picture. Okay, if you want to get a new frame, you can go ahead and choose the type of frames up here in the left hand side here. So you can either choose bracket frames, you could choose rectangle frames, or even invisible frames. So like for example you see this circle kind of show up on the screen. Invisible frame, nothing would show up. Also, you can think of frames like when you go from one frame to the next, that's just gonna zoom you to that point on the screen. So wherever you put the frame on the screen, so if I zoom out here and I put the frame, let's say for example I'm going to put a rectangle frame, I'm going to add that. If I put a new frame, I can take that frame and I can move that frame up to the upper left hand corner of the screen, and wherever I put that, when I'm going from like my first frame to the second frame, it's going to just lock that onto the screen. So that's kind of how the transitional part works with Prezi. I'll talk a little bit more in a separate video on more of the zooming transition and the nonlinear approach that Prezi features, but that's pretty much the basics, and that's kind of how you would get started out with Prezi. Thank you.